And then we are going to go ahead and jump in. And I hope that everyone is having a beautiful day today. 3, 2, 1. Hey. Hey, Gina. Hey, everybody. Yes, God. All right. Okay. Hey, Boo. Hey, Heidi. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So just one more thing here, and then we're going to go ahead and jump in. I hope everyone is having an amazing summer. Summer solstice was a couple days ago, and it was a really long day, and I really appreciate all that sunlight that we had and all that daylight. Hey, Boo. And I am excited for our conversation today. I am excited for the summer. I have a lot of projects that are coming to fruition this summer, so I will talk a little bit about that as well. Super, super excited to finally be launching the Yes God Wellness Vaginal Steam certification, coaching certification. And the reason why I decided it's going to be a coaching certification is because if you don't know me, or if you do know me, my name is Megan. I'm the CEO of Yes God Wellness, which is a holistic health company really dedicated to the mind, body, and spirit connection, especially passionate about womb health. And the way that we approach womb health is through that holistic connection of the mind, body, and spirit. So the certification will be having a focus on that coaching, on that mind, body, and spirit, along with the womb, which is what differentiates my approach to steaming, I think, from anyone else's that I've really come across. I don't know, but my goal is to help other people to adopt this same model of healing so that we can not only heal ourselves, but we can heal our communities, we can heal our families, we can heal our daughters, we can heal our mothers, we can heal the world. Yes, God, to that. So that will be launching on July 22nd. I do have a wait list that is filling up, and I'm super, super excited about that because it's going to be amazing. It's actually going to be a live training. So it's going to be a 12-week process. We're going to go every week. There's going to be 2 sessions. I'm going to do live instruction, and then we will move on to another point in the week where if you didn't catch the live instruction, you can view it, and then we'll have a session where we do questions, Q&A. Okay. So that is that on that. And then also launching is the Steam Queens Manifesting Mastermind. And that is going to kind of be taking the place of the Sip Steam and Manifest or the Sip Steam and Release sessions with a bit more. It's going to be an actual community that we are going to be coming together and really focusing on accountability for our manifestations. And so, yes, God, you've been praying for the certification. Yay! So wonderful. Yes, people have been asking me about it literally for years, and I have a very A-type personality, and I want things to be perfect and da da da. And I'm like, wait a minute, okay. I had a strategy call with someone yesterday, and she was like, this needs to be a live thing. This is not something that you should create in a bubble. And I was like, yes, God. Yes, God. So being able to do the certification live is going to be super helpful for myself, and I think for everyone who is taking the training, because you will be able to ask questions and I'll be able to kind of interact and guide the training more around what's actually happening and the needs of my fellow certified coaches, STEAM coaches. Yes, God. So I am really, really excited about that. This has been a long time coming, and I am just thrilled that I'm here. I'm here at this point where I really feel like, I've been in business for about 4 years, and I can really share. It's so much more sacred, fun, and intimate in person. Yes. I love those words. Matter of fact, I'm going to screenshot them because they are, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to screenshot that because yes, God, that's exactly what I want it to be. I want it to be intimate. I want it to be sacred, like you said. I want it to be really special, and I want for us to get the most that we can get out of it. And I'm not going to say I want you to get the most, because I'm getting something out of it too. So yes, go on to that. So let me just share this over on my other page. And we will go and get into today's topic. So, okay, whatever, I'll share it later. I'm going to take some deep breaths. Deep diaphragmatic breaths where we're expanding the belly, expanding that womb space. Holding. Releasing what's no longer serving us. I'm going to do a couple more of those. That feels so much better. So I sent out an email to my list today, and what we're going to be talking about is the hidden culprit behind a lot of womb imbalances, okay? And for those Yes God family that are familiar with me and my work, you may already know what it is. If you are just getting to know me, you will know what it is after this talk. And we've done sessions on it before. We've talked about it before. A lot of my content is, deals with this framework. And so I want to really kind of open up the discussion about it because I feel like a lot of times we are so focused in our physical reality. Okay, we're focused in, I have fibroids. The doctor's recommending a hysterectomy. I'm dealing with, really painful cycles or really irregular cycles. And while there are things that we can do externally, such as making sure that we're eating a whole foods diet and making sure that we are hydrated and being consistent about things like steaming and being consistent about our self-care, the one thing that I don't think you're ever really going to hear talked about in a Western medical facility is energy and the fact that there is an energetic root to everything that manifests physically. Okay. And what I have found throughout my years of working with women and throughout my years of helping women to navigate their womb imbalances, whether it be fibroids, whether it be unexplained infertility, whether it be cycles, irregular cycles, or extremely painful cycles, is that we are neglecting the energy of our womb. More specifically, we are harboring a lot of anger and resentment. And we are harboring a lot of anger and resentment surrounding traumas that we have experienced. And that suppressed resentment is manifesting itself as womb imbalances. Okay. Now, this isn't for everybody because some people are going to hear that and be like, oh, that's nonsense. They're going to completely dismiss that notion. And that's fine. This message is not for you. This message is for people who have a consciousness to understand that there's a lot more below the surface than just what we are diagnosed with. Okay, there's a lot more beyond what we can see with our physical eye. Okay. Again, I've done a lot of classes on this, but and I don't want to get too woo-woo on this conversation. But I do want to just mention that I have personally seen the effects of releasing trauma and seen rapid transformation of ailments just disappear, just go away. Not only in myself, but in others, in my clients, okay? Anyone who does know me knows that I'm very passionate about the study of energy. I'm very passionate about the study of universal laws. Law of attraction being one, law of assumption being another one that I probably am even more passionate about than law of attraction. Law of assumption doesn't get the credit it deserves. It is basically the law that whatever you believe is true. Okay. And so the thing is that most of us have had access and exposure to certain types of information. All right. And that information has influenced our beliefs and influenced what we feel is possible or attainable for us. Okay. When we receive certain diagnoses from doctors, we feel like, okay, whatever they tell me are the options are my only options. And I did a video last summer talking about how diagnoses in my world, in my in my reality, are opinions. Okay? Why are they opinions? Because I've been diagnosed with things that have gone away by addressing the energy, by addressing the internal, not really changing much about the external. And so I speak from my own experience. I speak from the experience of my clients. There's one word that is really, really powerful that I think people, we hear the word and we kind of brush it off and we mistake this word for suppression. And the word is forgiveness. Okay. I think a lot of times we feel that because we have suppressed something so deeply that we don't think about it much anymore, we mistake that as that we have forgiven that thing, that circumstance, that person, that dynamic. And unfortunately, that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is actually releasing it. Okay. So not just forcing yourself to quote unquote forget about it. Yes, God, root causes are usually related with energy. Yes, God. So I came across the work of Louise Hay several years ago, and she is amazing. And she has actually published something that talks about the emotional causes of disease, and it is amazing. Oh man, just had a deep journaling session around forgiveness. So glad you're talking about it. Needed. Yes, God. So I actually did a class on forgiveness last year during the pandemic. And I was offering it for sale. I have made the executive decision within the last week or so to take all of my courses down off of my website. Those moving forward will only be available within the Steam Queens community, which is a membership program which will be launching within probably the next 2 weeks. I just need to finish up some final details on the back end to make sure the system runs smoothly, but everyone who is a part of that manifesting mastermind will have access to all of the courses that I've created around these topics. Forgiveness, when I went back and looked at my stats, forgiveness was the webinar that got the most turnover, okay? The most conversions rather. I got the most feedback on that about how people were just blown away. Because with me, when I teach about things like that, I don't just talk about philosophy. I actually provide tools to move forward with forgiving. Okay. Because it's one thing to understand, like, okay, I understand, like, for, resentment and trauma and suppressed emotions. Like, okay, I need to forgive it. We also need to know how do we do that, because that's actually not something that's really commonly taught, especially in American society. Okay. We are in the thick, especially right now, of cancel culture. I'm cutting them off. I have boundaries and I'm not dealing with that anymore. And the thing is that boundaries are important, but also doing the inner work is even more important than that, because if you neglect that part of your process, you will have unreasonable boundaries. and you will close yourself off from pleasurable experiences that you could be manifesting for yourself, because you are not dealing with that energetic root that is literally blocking those type of experiences from coming in your life. Okay. So if anyone wants to Google Emotional Causes of Disease by Louise Hay, she has a very kind of comprehensive list. She doesn't have everything on here, but she has a really nice list of common ailments that we have, that we're diagnosed with, that and kind of what the energetic root is, what the emotional cause is. And then she also offers up an affirmation to deal with that. And affirmations are super, super, super powerful. I feel like a lot of us don't understand how to use affirmations. Affirmations is not just about getting up and saying it, 3 times in the mirror and then going about your day. Affirmations are literally supposed to be used to reprogram your self-talk. So when you have self-talk about whatever and it's not what you would prefer, one of my favorite affirmations is divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. So if this is a discipline thing, okay? And I think when people hear the word discipline, we think about, struggle, hustle, hardness, being really strict. And it is that way in a sense, but it's more so mentally. We have to be mentally disciplined to, number one, be aware of ourselves, be aware of the self-talk that's happening in our mind, and then also to redirect that self-talk. Okay, we're going to be going really, really deep into that in the STEAM coach certification. But I just wanted to kind of talk about that briefly, because affirmations are so underrated. And I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, affirmations great, but no, like, you should be repeating affirmations to the point where, like, how you listen to a song, or you have a song that you like and you find yourself just humming it throughout the day just because you like it, just because you like the melody, or it's like, how the saying, like, oh, that's stuck in my head. That's what an affirmation goal is to be. Your goal for affirmations is that they should be stuck in your head. You should be subconsciously repeating affirmations without even thinking about them. So you should be doing them so much consciously that they become subconscious. Okay. And that's how affirmations can help to change your reality, because they start to reprogram these prompters that we have within our subconscious that kind of still create these yucky experiences that we don't really want to experience anymore. So I wanted to pull this list up because so she has a few things. Okay. My live paused? No. Is my live still paused, or can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me or not? Can you guys let me know if you can hear me? If I'm paused? Somebody, anybody. Is my live still paused? Or are we good to go now? You can hear me? It's fine. Okay, cool. Cool. So, all right. Yes, God. Yes, God. Okay, perfect. Good. Thank you for letting me know that too. I appreciate that. All right. So I'm going to talk about 2 things that are on this list, okay? And I've started to get a little bit into this content recently, talking about divine feminine, talking about being more in touch with our feminine energy, okay? She has listed female problems, and then she has listed fibroids. And I'm going to talk about the energetic root, or also known as the emotional cause behind, okay? So female problems: denial of self and rejecting the feminine aspects within. Especially in this country, especially in this culture, women have an unreasonable expectation to do way too much. Okay, and I'm not going to get into all the historical events and things that have brought us to this point. in this live right now, but I will say that we need to start to sit still and really start reflecting on the messaging that we have been taught and we have been programmed through, not just through our family and not just through family trauma, but media trauma, environmental trauma, okay, friendship trauma, relationship trauma, hidden agendas in movies, hidden agendas in music. We have truly been indoctrinated to believe that being strong, independent women is a goal and is something that we should be striving towards. Okay. And again, I'm not going to go fully into this on this live, but this has been harming us. Okay. Feminism is another thing that I'm not going to touch on, but there was certain motivations for that. Honey, can you get the baby?
Yeah, I am. I'm right here.
Okay. There were certain motivations for that in terms of equity, and that's fine. Okay. And I agree with that. I think that we should be equitable. We should be able to have a bank account as women. We should be able to have a line of credit as women, which, by the way, those things just recently became accessible to us. I hope we all are aware of that. It was just in the 50s and 60s that we were able to actually have bank accounts and lines of credits without having a husband as a cosigner. Okay. So that's fine. And when I speak of femininity in that context, but all of this, I think it's gotten out of hand. Frankly, I think that yes, I'm capable of a lot of things that men are capable of, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to freaking do that. Like, I don't want to, and this is not to take away. I mean, some people do, okay? Some people are, but right now I'm talking about my specific niche, which is womb wellness, okay? And in regards to womb wellness, and when we're talking about issues with our wombs and we're talking about fibroids, the specific culprit energetically is the feminine ego, okay? And feeling like we had to be tough, feeling like we had to protect, feeling like we had to provide, feeling like we had to really overcompensate in a masculine sense to survive. Okay. And if anyone is interested, I did a video on YouTube talking about going from a hood chick to a feminine goddess. And, that has been a lifelong journey for me that I am still on, because I was raised up north in New York in a place where you get it how you live. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight like that. You have to be a protector of yourself. You have to provide for yourself. And not only do you have to protect and provide for yourself, you have to protect and provide for yourself and the women around you. Unfortunately, I'm deeply aware now that my masculine energy has been in charge for a very long time, and mostly to keep me feeling protected and safe because I experienced so much trauma and pain as a child. Yes, God. Exactly. Exactly. And so the thing about it is that masculine energy is needed, okay? As human beings, we all have masculine and feminine energy, okay? Regardless of what gender you identify with, okay? We all carry both of those energies within us, right? There's a balance that is supposed to be kept between those energies, okay? And for people who have wombs, the balance is supposed to be more feminine than masculine. Of course, we need masculine energy. We need to be able to create businesses. We need to be able to, accomplish things, set goals, execute on things, manage households, parenting. Okay. Parenting is a masculine dominated energy. Okay. So the thing is that if you actually take inventory of of everything that we're required to do to live this life, right? You can actually start to see like, although most things need both, that's actually a little bit more masculine, because masculine is about doing. Okay, this is kind of the breakdown. Masculine is about doing. It's about getting things done. It's about getting up and going. It's about accomplishing. It's about executing. Okay, feminine is about allowing. Okay, allowing things to happen, allowing ourselves to receive, allowing ourselves to pause, allowing ourselves to take note and observe, allowing ourselves to observe our reactions and responses to things. Okay, that's what the feminine is all about. Feminine is not about getting up and going and doing and executing and constantly being busy all the time. Feminine is about sitting back, grounding in with ourselves, and listening to our intuition. Okay, intuition is feminine. And again, everyone has access to this. Men have access to this. Okay, and really, really manly, masculine men have special access to this because they've taken the time to cultivate their emotional intelligence and to be able to listen. But let's be frank. Humans with wombs, women, we have so much, we have such a more clear connection to that intuitive space, okay, which is on our wombs. If you pay attention to your body when you find yourself in a confrontational or combative situation, you immediately feel it here and here. Okay, you immediately feel it right here in this heart and this sacral heart and sacral chakra. Okay, there's an immediate response that happens. Okay, and that's where a pause needs to happen. Okay, so a couple years ago when I was studying energy, someone was talking about how when we have like our initial response to something, is usually the right response, is usually the intuition, but then our brain, our self-talk starts reasoning with us. Okay? Oh, no, but you really should, because if you don't, they're going to feel like that. And oh, but if you say no, then they're going to get upset because then they're going to think that you're always just avoiding them. And oh, like all that right there. Okay? So there's a split second, right? When we have a gut response to things. Okay? When we are like, hell no. Or we're like, yes, God. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Yes, God Wellness is all about, is really being in tune with that intuitive gut response to things. All right? And really being able to be honest and identify, this is a yes, God, or this is a no, God. I don't want to do this. What happens a lot of times is that we have that yes, God. Then we allow the fear thoughts to start. Oh, but are you really going to be able to do that? Because, oh, but no, you can't do that yet. You're not ready. And oh, da, 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 da. That's where the affirmations come in. Divine order is now established in my mind, body, and affairs. Okay. This requires, again, discipline. This requires self-trust. Okay. Especially for me, I can speak from my own personal experience. I found myself in a lot of situations, especially dealing with relationships, where I would look back and be like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why would I deal with that? Why would I even involve myself in that type of dynamic? Okay. What happened after time is that I lost trust in myself and my decision-making ability, right? I started to really question, like, is something wrong with me? Like, is this karma? That was one of my main things. Is this karma? Is this happening because I did this, this, and this, and that before? Is this coming back to me because this is, whatever? So, all that to say, I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole there, but I wanted to just talk about the damage to our feminine identity and how that has been the culprit that has been manifesting itself as womb disease. Okay, not just womb disease, other types of disease, cancers, And I'm not, I won't do a list, but I'll just say that it's important to be willing to look beyond just the physical. Okay. It's important to be willing to sit and be vulnerable with yourself and be honest with yourself about things that still make you cry to think about or talk about. Okay. It's important to identify those things because those are the places that we need to lean into and we need to start working to heal. Okay. Because the thing is that when you can discuss or talk about or think about a trauma and not have an emotional response, that is when you know you're healed. Okay. And I don't mean, you know, not go off or not cry, because we can all kind of hopefully control those things. But I'm talking about the feeling. Okay. And this is something that no one else knows because we are the only ones who can feel what we feel. Okay. We can play it off and pretend that it's okay and pretend that we're over it and all these wonderful things. But at the end of the day, only we know how we truly feel inside. I hear you. We play all the roles at once. Yes, Brandy. Yes. And for so many different reasons, we have been forced, especially in this country, especially specific cultures, Black culture, just come out and say it, there has been an agenda to, to keep our families apart. And one of the consequences of that agenda has been trauma, severe psychological, emotional, and mental trauma that unfortunately has been perpetuating itself. Okay. We have in the Black culture, there is a lot of abuse that is justified as a cultural norm. All right. And I did a workshop with my friend Damari about that. And we talked about, the fact that, hitting our kids, beating our kids, spanking our kids is something that has been psychologically passed down as an acceptable form of parenting. And no, God, it's not. What is the best form of parenting or any type of relational modeling is to actually be the model, actually be what you want to see in your children, okay? Because they're picking up on our behavior, they're picking up on our energy. Also, the indigenous culture, so much hurt, so much pain. Yes, yes. Many cultures, most cultures, okay? Most cultures have a history of pain and trauma disguised as keeping us in line or showing us so the world doesn't have to. And all of these other kind of cliche things that have been passed down to justify abuse, okay? Psychological damage. And so it's important for us to really start to get real about that and to not kind of brush that off and not act like that's not a huge part of the condition that we're in right now, okay? Because psychological abuse, emotional abuse leads to coping mechanisms, all right? Coping mechanisms lead to unhealthy habits such as alcoholism, drug addiction, food addiction, okay, emotional eating. And I don't want to talk about the food in this country. Like literally, our people should be in jail. Like the leaders of this country that make decisions about the food that we're allowed to, the FDA, the things that we're allowed to consume and serve and sell and consume in America are literally illegal in other countries. It is considered a crime against humanity to offer the things that we are consuming to other countries. So the thing is that we have to take accountability and responsibility. Just because things are available doesn't mean we need to consume them. Okay? And this is discipline. Okay? This is really taking the initiative and not putting our health and our well-being in the hands of someone else. I don't care if they have a white coat on. I don't care if they went to school for 24 years and have all these letters behind their name. I don't give a damn. Because you know what? At the end of the day, we are the ones who have to live with how we treat our bodies inside and out. Yes, slow poison. There's a book called Nutricide. I didn't read the whole book, but even just the title, I was like, wow. Yes, God, unfortunately. And so the thing with that is that, again, we can't blame them. We live in a capitalistic country who really doesn't give a crap about our health, about our longevity. Okay, they expect us to die. They prefer us to die around a certain age so they can stop paying out benefits. Okay. And so we need to start to educate ourselves on these things so that we can understand, hey, you know what? If the masses are doing this, I might want to think about doing something completely different. I might even actually want to explore the opposite. All right? Because the thing is that we're not taking responsibility for our choices. We're not taking responsibility for the food we're eating. We're not taking responsibility for the media consumption that we're doing. And then we turn around and we expect someone else, again, to be responsible for fixing us. And the thing is that it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. That is setting yourself up for failure. To expect to go into somewhere and ask someone else to fix your body. Okay. Now, this is not in all cases. Yes, there are extreme situations where, hey, I got in an accident. My arm's hanging off. Can you help me stitch it back on? Yes. Okay. Or, hey, I was born with this disease and, I need to know more information about how to manage it. Okay. Those things are, yes, the live will be on replay. Yep. And I will post it on my YouTube as well. Okay. We have to take responsibility for our health. We have to take responsibility for our wombs. We have to take responsibility for our hearts. We have to take responsibility for our trauma. And we have to put ourselves into a position where we can transmute it and we can use it to serve us and the world. Okay? It's really, really important because the thing is that your trauma is not hurting anyone but you by holding on to it. And I know that can sound callous, and that is not my intention. My intention is to provoke thought and to understand that, if you're holding on to something that's toxic and you're holding on to it really tightly because this person did this or this situation happened or my mother let this happen to me or my father wasn't there, or, that stuff is not hurting anyone but you. So it's important to own that. You know what? Yes, this happened to me. Yes, I experienced this trauma. And now I am fill in the blank. Okay. And turn that thing into gold. Because all trauma has the potential to be gold. Okay. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the hidden culprit behind womb disease. Is really taking accountability for ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Taking accountability for our healing, taking accountability for our spiritual development, taking accountability for our personal development, really allowing ourselves to take ownership. It's important for us to take ownership of ourselves, of our autonomy, of our health, of our immunity. Okay. And one thing that we can all do that I think everyone can benefit from is, fast. Stop eating. Give your body a break. Most Americans' bodies are desperately struggling to keep up with the bullshit that they put in it. Okay? And so, yes, it's pleasurable. Yes, it tastes good. Yes, all this other stuff about good tasting food and drinks. But you're sacrificing so much by not exercising discipline around that. Okay? And even more so, think about how often we're eating, what time we're eating. Okay? Because a cheeseburger in the middle of the day is way better than a cheeseburger right before you lay down and go to bed. Right? Your body has healing power. Okay? And we are distracting that healing power by eating nonsense from the time we wake up until the time we go to bed. Okay? Intermittent fasting is amazing. Prolonged fasting is amazing. Okay? Not just for the body, to extend life, to extend telomeres, to allow autophagy to do its thing and eat fat cells and eat toxins out of your body, but also mentally. Imagine the mental discipline that you now have cultivated because you have not put anything in your mouth but water for 48 hours. Now you are building self-confidence. You're building self-trust. Yes, we are poisoning our bodies. We're poisoning our bodies with food. We're poisoning our bodies with alcohol. We are poisoning our bodies with reality television. We're poisoning our bodies with nonsense music, talking about bitches and hoes and busted wide and all this other nonsense that objectifies us and wounds our feminine energy. All right. So, on that note, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to open it up. If anyone has any questions or any feedback, I am welcome to that. Thank you all so much for taking some time to join me today. I really appreciate your presence. And yes, God. And again, just to recap, the Vaginal Steam Coach Certification Program is launching on July 22nd. It is going to be a 12-week program where we are going to be going through live instructions from A to Z on the Yes God method of healing through steam. And also we are going to be just talking about creating this as your own business. My goal is that, my intention is that to spread this far and wide, to spread this approach, that we would heal ourselves and we would heal our communities. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. So if anyone doesn't have any questions or concerns, I thank you so much for joining me for Womb Wellness Wednesdays. I will see you back here next Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 12 o'clock, I will be coming live. And I will also be posting this replay. I'll be sending it out to the email, so it'll be coming straight in, but then I'll also be posting it to YouTube. So if you're on the list, you'll be getting the YouTube link. And I hope that you are having a wonderful Wednesday. I hope that this has helped you. Yes, I definitely want to share what I learned. Yes, God. Hey, quick. After steaming, can you sometimes be late with your next cycle? Thank you very much. So it depends. That's kind of a loaded question. Right now, with the jabs that are happening and all the shedding that's happening from the jabs, people's cycles are being really wonky. People are getting them late, they're getting them early. So that question is relative as far as if you're talking about like right now in this moment steaming, like in this last few months. I don't know how to pinpoint that. I have actually never heard of steaming making someone late with their next cycle. I've heard of steaming help to bring on the next cycle. That's the feedback that I have received. But I think it's fair to say that it can affect people differently. I guess I would need to know more information. Have there been any other changes? Has there been a change in diet? Has there been a change in a stressful situation? I've been flying and my cycle is off and very painful. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all a preview. Next week, I'm gonna be having Lindsay Muma on, and we're gonna be talking about hormones. And I talked a little bit about this last week. That jab, it's screwing our cycles up, and I believe it's intentional. Okay, the spike proteins are specifically going directly to the ovaries. It's biological warfare. Probably shouldn't have said that because this may get banned or taken down, but it is what it is. So I will allow folks to contact me privately to discuss that. I really don't want to discuss that in a super public forum like this. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your energy. You shared a lot that stayed with me, and I thank you for that too. You're so welcome. The jab that is supposedly the response to the pandemic. It's all good. It's all good. Yes, thank you, Judith, for typing it. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful. Stress for me can cause the lateness. Yep, it is. Yes. Excuse me. I love y'all so much. I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day.